Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic/non-classic. This is episode number 326 and Doubleshot number 256. Okay. First up is a trade later on. I will do this. These issues will be later on part of the classics retrospective of this character. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel Volume 1, Rise of Alpha Flight. Collecting the first 5 issues of Captain Marvel Volume either 9 or 10. They have. It's kind of questionable exactly what volume this is, but it's the third volume for Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. Now, it is written by Michelle Felix and Tara Butters, which, from what I've heard, these two are the people behind Agent Carter. So I guess Marvel's like, okay, so you made Agent Carter good. Can you write this character, please? They're like, sure, why not? Despite the fact this character was written awesomely by Carol Suhanik, she's written really well in here too. Now she says she has a new look. Her costume is still the same as it was in the previous 2 volumes. So maybe new job. Unlike in the previous volume, where she just simply went off to space for a year, this time she's basically going to a space station for 2 years. And yes, this is like first of like 2 or 3 trades that probably can collect issues in this volume. Now, Alpha Flight. This version of Alpha Flight is a space program. The satellite, which there is a picture of it in here. Let's see here. Let's see. Here it is. The Alpha Flight Station, only as AFSS. Yeah, this right here, this is the Alpha Flight Station. It's actually a pretty good picture of it. From this issue, which is done by Chris Akina, who did pretty much all 5 issues with artwork co-drawn by Philippe Smith. Now, pretty much, who are supporting characters? Now, you have Rhodey, who shows up in issue 1. And just like the previous volume, he sees her go off back to space. Though this time he actually can see her more often than basically very rarely. As for what happened to her spaceship, never brought up at all. What happened to Lieutenant Trouble, the supporting character from her first volume, never mentioned at all. What happened to her supporting cast in the previous volume? Never brought it up. I think I had to read the previous trade to find out what happened to some of these characters. But yeah, there's some questions for Captain Marvel that are completely left unanswered. Like, one of the biggest questions is, when the heck did this Alpha Flight program actually start? Because apparently it's been going on for a while. My guess is it must have started during the 8-month jump. That's my theory. Though some might propose a theory that it might have started right after Secret Wars. Especially since at the end of Secret Wars number 9, you saw Black Panther seeing a rocket go up to space, pretty much the start of the Alpha Flight program. But as far as I know, not even this trade, they actually do not give a detailed description of what the space station, like, there's no map of the space station at all. Maybe there might be this in the later issues, but there's nothing for that at all. And pretty much the story for this volume is that Carol Danvers has taken over has pretty much been charged of the Alpha Flight program, and Sword is gone. Yeah, there is no explanation what happened to Sword at all. An organization that was started that made its first appearance during the Joss Whedon run of Astonishing X-Men. But Abigail Brand is in this book as a supporting character. Pretty much, she's Captain Marvel. She's Carol Danvers' second command. She's basically Lieutenant Commander Abigail Brand. Though one of the biggest questions is, what happened to Sword? Never brought up at all. Apparently, the Alpha Flight program. Now, I had heard that she was going to take the place of Sword, but how? That was a question that everybody was asking. And this book kind of does answer that question, pretty much with this Alpha Flight program. Apparently it's a space agency, but it's not been clearly defined exactly what the heck it is. Luckily enough, they do have people from the actual Alpha Flight superhero team based out of Canada. They threw in Puck, Amora, and Sasquatch. which there they are in their nice shiny new costumes. Which I do praise the writers basically for putting those 3 characters in here. I mean, Abigail Brand, one thing, because she's used to dealing with aliens, so this is nothing new for her. But as for the story itself, is simply put, it is Carol comes across a spaceship that pretty much has the symbol of Captain Marvel, the original one. And also, apparently, the ship is giving her memories of the original version of Captain Marvel, the guy who actually has died 3 times. He first started Marvel graphic novel #1 back in 1981. Then he died brought back in Chaos War Avengers #1, died in issue 2, and then 3rd time he came back in Secret Avengers #26 and died 2 issues later in issue 28. Yeah, so she finally took up so basically she has memories of that Captain Marvel. Okay. And apparently the spaceship is somehow connected to her. Apparently I think it's maybe hers. I don't know. It's never clearly defined. Yeah, and of course there's some stuff with her head, which once again I'm like, why in the world are we revisiting this? Didn't Kelly Sue Honig already deal with storyline dealing with her head problems? Yes. Kelly Sue Honig has already done this. I do not know why the writers were revisiting this at all. I mean, if you read every single issue released for Captain Marvel, you know for a fact that Captain Marvel's already gone through the whole head trauma storyline. I do not know why that the writers thought it would be a good idea for her to go through it again. And also, her powers beyond the Fritz, Kelly Sue Honig also did that too. So pretty much they're basically repeating stuff that already happened. She's already gone through this. I don't know why she's going through it again. Now, it's also nice to see Puck get... Now, it's nice the way the writers write Puck, Amora. Amora doesn't do much in here at all. Pretty much the only 2 characters who actually do anything in here, aside from Carol and Abigail Brand, is Sasquatch and Puck. Amora does jack squat in this particular storyline. Pretty much these 5 issues, she does nothing at all. She's just there just for fan service. That's simply what the point of her is, to be there. At least Puck actually gets character development here. There's a little bit for Sasquatch too, a little bit, but at least he actually does something. Yeah, and this was new characters they threw in here, which was really nice and really interesting. One of whom looked like that she's possibly related to Sasquatch, because his real name is Kowalski. It's a possibility that someone might be his daughter. I highly doubt it's his ex-wife. So my theory is that this woman whose last name is Kowalski, I think her name is Wendy Kowalski, I think her name is, she could be his daughter, his niece. I highly doubt his cousin, because she seems a bit young to be his cousin. So either one of 2 things. Either it's his cousin, either it's his niece or his daughter. Hopefully it's explained later on. But this is still really good, despite repeating 2 stuff that Carol has already gone through already. The artwork is really good. Here's some artwork right here. Yeah, there's some space stuff here and there. Yeah, so despite the fact repeating 3 things that's already been done so far, like saying goodbye to the roadie at the issue 1, Carol going through head trauma, and of course, her having her powers on the Fritz. Despite repeating 3 things that's already been done during the Kelly Sue Honig run, this is still really good. I do recommend this particularly for Captain Marvel fans, but I do recommend for Captain Marvel, read her previous trades. Now, her first slime is being put into these 2 hardcover collections, which, here's the cover for the first one, which I've already reviewed. You can check my playlist for that. Captain Marvel, Earth's Mightiest Hero. This is the first of 2 volumes. This one collected the first 12 issues, while the second volume collected issues 13 to 17, the Enemy Within One Shot, and I think it's like 15 to 19 of Avengers Assemble, and that's it. Sometimes I really wish Captain Marvel would get an annual. I really wish that. Maybe the annual actually explained the origin of basically would explain the 8 months up. Basically, annuals basically could do that, but it just highly depends on when Marvel actually do it. This is still good. 9 out of 10, despite the repeated things. But they're done in a good way. Though Rhodey's say goodbye to him again, that's quite funny. Heck, people pointed out, like, why in the world is the writers of the book pretty much repeating what Kelly Sue Honig did in her run? Yeah, 3 things. Alright? But let's move on. Next, of course, is New Avengers Volume 2, Standoff, written by Al Orway, with artwork by... There's actually, I think, a couple different artists. There's 3 of them. First is Jay Cassarara, who does just issue 7. Actually, there are 3 artists in here. There's also Marcus 2 with Julian Ramirez, who does issues 8 through 10, and Gerardo Salvador, who does issue 1. This does continue stuff that happened in the previous volume. Plus, also, Cannonball is added to the series. Yeah, first time anybody's seen him since before Secret Wars. Yeah, ask what he's been up to. Like, where's his wife? Where's his son? Never explained. At all. Plus, also, there's a couple issues that deal with Standoff, the crossover that happened earlier this year, which, in my honest opinion, is an underrated crossover because it got buried by the promotion of Secret Wars. Because for 2 years in a row, a crossover that started off the year got buried by the summer event in marketing. I am not kidding. Marvel did the same thing with Black Vortex because they were heavily promoting Secret Wars. So for 2 years in a row, they buried the first crossover of the year get buried by the summer crossover. Yeah. To me, that's really dumb. The one issue that they have in here where it's set during Standoff, they pretty much just take on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters from that series. And of course, there's an appearance by the Scarlet Witch. Looking, I think, in her classic garb, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look it up here. Kind of looks like her classic garb. Let's see here. Yeah, it's right after Standoff this happens. Let's see here. Yeah, it's like right after Standoff. Here she is. Yeah, it kind of does look like her classic garb that she's known for wearing. But it's nice to see her in this book. She appears in here a couple times. But there are some things I scratch my head at. Like, there's some interesting, really neat ideas. Like, somehow Rick Jones... One thing I did not like in here, I thought our Orlick does. Now, there's this creature known as the American Kaiju. As for what this creature's name is, it's completely unexplained. Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross is one of the 2 villains in here, and plus also, White Tiger comes back. Now I was surprised to see her when she first showed up when the issues were coming out. Like, I was surprised to see her because it had been, you're not gonna believe this, it had been 6 years since I have almost 6 years. Actually, it actually has been a little over 5 years since I've seen this character who shows up in here. Let me introduce you to Angela Del Toro, the niece of the original White Tiger and the previous one before the current one, which is Ava. Yep. It is Ava Del Toro, I think her name is. Yeah. And apparently she has, and apparently she and Power Man are trying to get back together, which, okay, I do praise Al Irwin for trying to get these 2 back together, because apparently during an 8-month jump they broke up. I still kind of wish they would have a backstory exactly what happened that lead to pretty much what happened with this team. The only thing that you can kind of explain that happened just for the start of the series was Hawkeye joined the team. That's it. Now, as far as I know, this particular series is set to end, this volume anyways, at issue 18, which that's the next issue, by the way, because issue 15 came out recently. Now, this series so far at this point is still really fun. Really fun series. I mean, it features characters like Like with Mighty Avengers, you never expect these characters to be Avengers. People like Squirrel Girl, be on like a regular Avengers team, not just a rip-off team. You also see people like Hulkling, Wiccan. Trying to think who else. Power Man, White Tiger, who was part of the Mighty Avengers team, which Our Wing decided to keep these two characters around and relevant. And there's a bunch of the only characters that actually get development here, Squirrel Girl gets hardly any development at all. I mean, there's something really funny when she takes on the Plunderer. It is so funny. But I enjoy this. I really do. I don't get why some people don't really like this series at all. I mean, it's pure fun. I mean, do all comics have to be dark, gritty, and serious? Whatever happened to comics be fun? Funny. Whatever happened to that? Heck, even Brian Michael Bendis, his run was awesome. And it was still enjoyable. I mean, Hickman's was something else, but it was still a good read. This is just pure fun. I love what Al Ewing has done. He's taken B-list characters and make them Avengers. He did the same thing with Mighty Avengers. Well, Luke Cage was already A-lister anyways, along with She-Hulk and Falcon. But as the rest of these characters, a lot of them in the Mighty Avengers series, even Captain America in the Mighty Avengers series, he pretty much threw in B, C-list, and D-list characters as part of his Avengers team. Because even he probably thinks that he'll probably never get a chance to write the flagship title. Now, this series is going to replace with U.S. Avengers. Oh, and I should point out one of the main villains of this series, there's actually two of them. One is General Ross. Actually, there are three. There's General Ross, John Garrett, and the Maker, a.k.a. Evil Richards from the Ultimate Universe, who pretty much at the end, ending one of the issues, forms a new version of the Ravengers. Yeah, a villain team. Let's see, where are you? Yeah, he does it at the end of, like, very early on. They don't do much because of Standoff. Standoff pretty much decided to put that storyline on hold for a bit. Let's see, where are you? Here we go. Now, who is part of this team? Let's see, I see Pybok, Vermin, I see Anger the Screamer. Yeah, these are his Ravengers, who the new Avengers do face off in the most recent story arc. Yeah, Mike as a Standoff kind of basically put this on hold, but at least he didn't sit on it for a long period of time like Slott does for Amazing Spider-Man. So, this is still good. I do recommend it, and I'm planning on reviewing New Avengers when I get a chance. When I get a chance to get more trades for it. I mean, this is just the current stuff. When I do New Avengers, I plan to start with the first volume by Brian Michael Bendis. That's where I'm going to start. Eventually, I will get to this. Eventually, I will. I am enjoying this, and I can't wait for issue 18 when it comes out. And, of course, U.S. Avengers when it comes out. And I'm glad that Al Ewing is staying on the right book, because who else are you going to have write a book called with the name Avengers, where it's comprised of B and C-list heroes? Oh, one interesting fact. Her creator, Steve Ditko. The same person who co-created Spider-Man with Stan Lee and also created Doctor Strange, The Question, Ted Core, Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, The Question, Shay the Changing Man, Hawk and Dove, a bunch of other characters. This was his last major creation, I should point that out. And of course he created Tippy Toe as well. But Tippy Toe always hangs out with it. And also, Squirrel Girl's the one who has an ongoing series right now. Hawkeye doesn't. He's off in Occupy Avengers, while pretty much this team is still continuing on as U.S. Avengers. 9.5 out of 10. Awesome. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 327 and Doubleshot 256. Where I'm going to review something that's not Marvel and DC. And it's something that's currently being published. Well, as of like the last couple years. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.